So team, welcome back to the continuation day 2 for our QTP training for the Feb 22nd batch. So let's take a quick look at what we did in day 1, then we will move forward with day 2. Alright, so whatever we're trying to do in this whole session, we are putting that in an Excel. Why? Because we are documenting it. It makes us easy to plan and accordingly execute things. Alright, it's very important for you to keep things organized and document them well. Now, what we did is we took this application, the salary calculator, you remember, and now we're trying to see how we can do the automation. Are we getting into the testing part of it? Yes? No. We are just trying to automate the user interactions with it. What are the user interactions? Any user of this website, let's say this is a company, they have offering services through it. So if they have their users coming in, a large community of how many ever hits they get, they will enter information here, and once they click on go, they expect to see the results. So depending on the salary, what will be the take home, yearly, monthly, and so on. Right? That was the application. Now our intent is, if you happen to work in a project which is similar to this, how would you go about automating it using HP Quick Test Professional? And what we are doing right now is in a very structured way called data-driven framework. That's the plan. Okay, so description, I'll say it here, data-driven automation framework. Why did I put it in this column? Because this felt large enough to put that 4 words. All right, team. So here are the different steps. Have we gone through each of the steps? No. What we're trying to do is logically think through what we may have to do. And the first thing we started doing is, what is it that we will do? How do we put what is the scenario that we're going to test? What is the set of information that we want to take as inputs? And create that as the first step. So we made some progress on that. We changed it to 50%. Then we said, let's start to identify the objects from the application. What are they? Those are the ones which talk about the where part. Where do we go and perform certain steps? Where does the user enter information or click on things or get information back? Right? Then we said, let's add them to the object repository and assign them logical names. Why are the logical names? It makes it easy for someone to read through the code, for you to review it in future, and makes things very organized. We will come to the benefits as you go along, you will see them. Now we started to write the basic code. What code is it, team? It's a vbscript. Why vbscript? Because QTP understands instructions in that format. If you put in plain English, it won't. That's the programming language. So we made about 10% so far. Now let's go to QTP and open that test. Where is that test? We saved that yesterday. So if I do a Control O and go to that folder where those files are, this is the F22, then we can see this. So for everyone who's either attending it live or most of you who are watching this in the videos, try and keep it in the same structure of folder. It is easy for you to work with. Okay, create a folder called QTP in your C drive, create a folder called F22 in your QTP, and start doing things. Okay, now I'm going to double click this and open it. Once I've opened it, you will see whatever we did till yesterday. So what did we do yesterday, team? We added the object repositories. Where were they? They're out here. This is where you'll find your object repository, correct? So once you go to the object repository, you will see, like in a tree structure, all of these objects added under test objects. What is this other thing called checkpoint and output objects? This is more to do with checkpoints. When you come to checkpoints, you can look at it. I won't use checkpoints at all in the live webinars because it is not something we very rarely use in the real world, because everything that the checkpoint does, we can do it in the vbscript. There are recorded videos on these topics in the QTP recorded topics folder, team. In fact, it's a good time for me to quickly walk you through some of those videos there. It will be good for later also. All right. Okay, my bandwidth is, I have a very large database, number one. The second thing is there is a 600 GB of usage per month that's happening, and it's already expired, so I have to renew it. I think over 1 terabyte of data is flowing between these videos. There's so many people who are watching it primarily. All right, so once you have access to this folder, with your welcome pack, you can go to the QTP recorded topics. Here is where every topic is organized for you. The vbscript basics, the what we're doing expanded on different other applications, is in the 01. That's the first playlist. Do you see this? 01 series. Then in 02 you see actions, shared object repositories, and checkpoints. Okay. The third one we get into the overview of how do you automate Excel's, vbscript functions overview. Then we have data-driven framework, two different types of data-driven framework. One, the regular one. The other data-driven framework, DDF, is using arrays. Okay, then we have very detailed sessions on descriptive programming, smart identification, and automation object model. After which you get into few more things, which is about how do you handle dynamic websites when things are changing. How do we handle dynamic web forms? Okay, how do you use fire events, Mercury device replay? There are other things like how do you identify broken links in a web page, or extract different links that are already present in a web page, and so on. Then we talk about driver data table, environment variables, error handling, and recovery scenario. After we've done this, then we get into the detailed code. This is the video structure team. So if someone has a lot of time, you just go through all the videos in one by one, starting with the first till the end, and practice along with it. So with about 2 hours a day, I think you can easily complete it between 4 to 6 weeks, the whole thing. I think it's over 50 hours. This one folder has got everything that you need. Then we have the keyword-driven framework, one using shared object repository, couple of them. Then there is the detailed keyword-driven framework, which is the most important, using descriptive programming. This is what is a script-independent automation framework. What that means is in future, when we need to make changes, we don't have to open the script and make changes. When the application changes, we can do it at an Excel level. So even if you build this framework, manual testers also can use this framework. That's a very, very huge selling point in the automation industry team. After which is hybrid framework, database testing, .NET Factory. So a lot of other topics after that. More importantly, if you're attending an interview, watch this QTP interview, job automation guidance, software testing. This is very important once you've completed. So this structured flow, if you have a lot of time, is a great thing to watch. If you're someone in a hurry, you have an interview lined up in the next 3-4 days, and you need to go through end-to-end something, pick up any live batch. For example, QTP D1, December 1st. This was the previous live batch. Like this session, there'll be about 15 to 20 videos, day 1 to day 15. Just watch them in that order. What we're doing is exactly presented in here. All right. All the files that we generate from that batch are also there for you to download. The videos you cannot download, but the class files and scripts you can download. All right. So day 1 to day 15, you can just breeze through everything. Take notes. Do not practice if you have interviews lined up for 3-4 days, because it will give you the breadth of everything and good understanding. So 15 hours of focused learning. Just take a notebook and start writing down your notes along with it. That's for interview purpose. So similarly, you'll have different other batch folders for you to go back and review and practice more. Apart from this, you have the Google Group access. All right. So team, the reason I'd opened this is some of these topics like this checkpoints, actions, which I don't use, but still good to know, not great from a usage perspective, but good to know are there out there. So since you have a year-long access to the videos, even if you come back after 6 months and you need to refresh, they're there for you. Okay. Anything to do with installations and all those things are part of the Google group, the technical help desk team, and your welcome pack. All those instructions are there. All right, so this is what we did. We've added the objects, and then we started to write the code. One line, we automatically did it. How? By right clicking and say insert step, step generator, identifying the object and inserting that step, correct? Now we started to write from here. What does this identify, team? Anyone? What is this that is highlighted? What did I highlight in the code here? What is it referring to? Anyone on the chat, please? Where part, correct, exactly. Object, yes. What kind of an object is it? It is not a page object. What type of an object is this? It's not a web object. It is a specific object. It is a web edit object. Is it a browser object? No. Why? Because dot page. Is it a page object? No. Why? Because dot web edit. This is the final end of that object. That is what we are referring to. On browser you can do a lot of things. On page you can do a lot of things. On web edit you can do a lot of things. And those, what you can do on them differs. And those are the methods. Okay. You have primary construction is very simple. You have objects team. Okay, objects have names. What are those? Like a browser had the IE, or the salary had the name salary, and so on. Those are the logical names, correct? Then they belong to a specific class. They have a specific category of where it belongs to. Is it a web edit? Is it a page? And so on, right? Then there are other things called as properties, which are used to identify them and describe them. For example, your car, you can identify it by the license plate, VIN number, or where it is parked, and so on, correct? Apart from that, there is the other descriptions of it is how much does it weigh, how fast can it go, what is the engine capacity, how many, is it an automatic or a manual transmission, so many other features to it, correct? Properties have once used to identify it, which will come to very detailed later team, just giving an overview about it. And the other things just to describe that further. Other properties to describe it. Then you have the methods for the object. What are the methods? Methods are the ones that you can perform some actions. Like you can drive your car, you can park your car, you can turn it right, you can go fast, do all of those things. That's what you could do with your car. Okay, those are the methods. Now, how do we go about doing the methods in VB scripting? Once I've identified the object, now I have to tell QTP what do we want to do. As soon as I hit a dot, all the icons that you see with the brick kind of emotion, which is basically saying you're throwing something, you're doing something, you're acting on it. Okay, that is the method. You can do various things. When you click on any of them, it will show you what it does on the side. Do you see this? Clicks the object, or drags the object, or drops the object. For example, there are other things which may not be very easily understandable for you. That's when we'll use the help, which we'll come to now. Now, what do I want to do on a web edit? What will the user do? That's what we have to do. We have to go and type here, correct? Now let's see if there's a method called type. So if I start to say T, I will say everything that starts with T. There's only something called toString. There is no type. Then what is the method? How do we identify it? The way you identify is, one, by practice. I introduce it to you and you start practicing. The other way, whenever you have a question team, unfortunately my record didn't work yesterday. I didn't even get to fix it today because I'm never bothered about record. If that doesn't work, I don't care. I never do a record ever. Okay, it is not needed. The only time is if I forget or I don't remember what the method is to perform that user action. You can record to see what it does and then write your own code. Okay, especially if you're starting, that's a good tool to use to understand. In this case, what we will use as a method is set. Set, when you go on it, it clearly says sets the text inside the edit box. Is this what we want to do? Yes. Now we have done it. As soon as I write set, what do you see, team? It says in bracket text. What does it mean? Here is the object, web edit. Here is the set, takes something and puts into that web edit. But what should it take? That additional information is the data you have to provide to some of these methods to take information and put it. The way we do it is give a space and write the number. Let's say I want to talk about 100,000. That's the salary. One additional zero and we go to a million. Hopefully sometime our economy will reach there, but till then it's still, this is a good mark, right? So 100,000 is the information that I'll take and put that or type that or paste that into this web edit when the execution happens. All right, that is the whole thing. Now, similarly, like what we did yesterday, let's do it for the second one. But before that, I am going to save this and change this to PC2. Why am I saving it as a different test? Reason is when you go back and when you practice, you will see this entire folder. You open it and you see, okay, PC1, this was the one. If you go to the action 1 under it, you will see something called as script.mts file. It is right now being associated to video. Don't worry. Just right click and say open with and select notepad. Come on. It will show you the code only. Okay. I cannot run just the code because the object repository, everything has to be there with it. But if you want to see the code alone, then you can quickly go here. How did I go there, team? If I go to PC1, okay, if this is my test, do you see this? This is saved as a folder in here. But when you try and open it using file, open, test, you will see those as a different icons. These are quick tests. All right. Now double click on it, go to action 1, script.mts is the file, do open with and select notepad, and that's where you see that this is the code that we did. So every time you want to go back when you're watching the videos to refer to the code, you have that code accessible for you. Now we have done the first step. We will test this out after we do 2 or 3 more steps. Now what is the next step? Enter the status. So where is the status? It is out here, correct? But what we need to do is find where is it in the object repository. So keep your object repository here. Now you can see, is the status here? Is this a web list? Correct. See, each object has a different class. Now we start to write browser. That's how we start, because what is the first object of type? Browser, right? So I say browser. What will come up as soon as I open the brackets, team? IE. Why? Only one browser object is present in that repository. Okay. Now dot page, because we have to go to the page. That is the order in which it is there. The salary calculator came up automatically. Now as soon as I say dot, what type of an object is this? Web edit, right? So I'll say web edit and open brackets. Now I have deduction salary. Why don't I have status? The reason I don't have status is because what is status? Status is a web list. It is not a web edit. That is important for you to know. Okay. All right, team, 1 second, please. All right, guys, sorry, had to take an emergency call, so did that. So why did this come up? Because it's a web list, it's not a web edit. The reason I try and deliberately sometimes write these things, team, is for you to understand when you do it, you will face them. It is all about trial and error. Now, why do I get 2 drop downs? Because there are 2 types of web lists in it. Now we do it to status. Dot, what do you do? Set. Where is set? Why is set not here? Web edit you can set. Why? Because it is an edit field. You can take information and set it inside it. Ideally, more realistic English word for it should be type, but set is the method related to it. For a web list, what do? You click on it and you actually select from that list. It is not a set. And hence, do we see a select? Okay. Is this the one that does it? Yes. Am I very sure? No, until you do a run. Whenever you write your code, you have to run that and see, is your code working right or not. Now I'm going to say, let's say single. Okay, let's say household head, a different one. Okay, household head. Okay, now we are done with this. Let's do one more. Enter the dependence. Now let's look at it. Now I actually don't even need the application. Is this dependence? Yes, so very similar. Okay, again, I will take, see, this is the same thing, right, that I'm writing. So I'll copy it for ease and put it here, dot web. What is dependent? Web list. If you look at it, team, isn't it more work to write your code than to record? We are talking about efficiency. Then why are we losing efficiency by writing the code than recording? Because accuracy is also very important. You do entire test and it doesn't work, what is the point? Correct? Reusability is also important. You come back tomorrow and you want to do something, you don't understand what was recorded, what is the point? So you have to take those efforts initially to make things happen. Now dot set. No. Why? Select. Select because it's a web list and that's what we want to do. Let's say we want to put 2 dependents for us. Now we have 3 steps done, team. Now I'm going to save it. Make sure your IE is closed. Ideally, team, you have to make sure that IE is opened after you launch QTP. Okay, that is number one. Second thing, depending on your operating system, you may have issues with control panel. Okay, you may have issues with QTP identifying the object. So for that, you have to go to your user accounts. Okay, in your control panel, you have to go to change user account control settings and set it down to never notify. Okay, this is basically trying to give control to QTP to handle things. Otherwise, your system is smart enough to say that there's some tool which is working. It could be a virus. All right. So when you're working with QTP, you set it to never notify, restart your system and do it. All of these things are actually part of your welcome pack as well, team. Okay. They're detailedly mentioned in that. Now I want to do my first run and see how it will work. Okay. So far, we didn't do a run. Before I do a run, one important thing is I'll go to automation and I'll go to this record and run settings. Do you see this here? When we initially started, we said we will use this thing, right? Open the following address when a record and run session begins. What will it do? It will go to this URL using Microsoft Internet Explorer. So that setting is given through the record and run settings. Okay, let's keep it that way. We will change it now after some time. Let's do a run. What does run do? Run takes the code that we wrote and QTP will now try and execute it. So the intent is automation testing. Testing, we are not coming right now. Okay, we are coming to testing at a later point in time. We will come to the testing portion more towards the end, but we have to first master the art of automation, VB scripting, automation frameworks, descriptive programming, and all of those. So till then, I don't need the results. I don't need this run results folder. Otherwise, every time you run, you will see a new results folder getting generated under your main thing. So results 1, results 2, and keep on getting added. It'll just make your folders heavy. You don't need it. So we'll say temporary run results, just your temp folder. Say OK. Now what happens is QTP from the ready state will go into that running mode. Okay, now it has opened the application and it is trying to execute things. But what happened as soon as it tried to execute, team? Something came up called as a run error. Team, do note this. The more you master to handle the errors, the better you're getting at the tool. You have to first identify what the issue is before you go and jump into a solution for it. Okay, read things very carefully. What is a run error? Run error is a message that QTP is giving to you saying that it cannot do something. It doesn't know how to go forward. It is asking you to guide QTP forward as to what should we do. What is it saying? It is saying that cannot identify the specified item of status object, confirm that the specified item is included in objects. So a lot of English. It is also saying there's a line number and it is giving me a few buttons here. How do you go about this run error, team? First thing, read the English very clearly and try and understand the problem. What is the problem? Where is it occurring? Then we will try and identify a solution which may fix this problem. Okay. We will then run it again and see if that got fixed. If it didn't get fixed, then we will have to try another alternate solution. Okay. That is the way. The first time you may work, you may do 3 or 4 solutions and you still didn't solve it. You have to keep doing experimenting things. But as you get better on the tool, you'll be able to quickly identify where it is and go. But initially focus on the process, and the process is what is the error, where is it occurring. It's saying line 5. What is line 5 out here? Do you see this icon getting executed? It says browser.page.weblist. So in the web list select household head. So what was we trying to do? We were trying to go to the application, and this is hopefully the object, right? And we were trying to select household head. Now the error occurred here. What error occurred here? The error that occurred is cannot identify. Identify what? The specified item of the status object. Status is the name of that object. Do you see this? The logical name, right? It is saying it cannot identify the specified item. What is an item? Item is the one which you select from this drop down list. All right, that is your item. Now it is saying that it cannot identify. What did I give? I gave household head. Why can't it identify it here? I see it here. Why can't QTP see it? Is it because I have a space here? No. Is it because this is a small h out here, but I have a capital H out here? Is that the reason? Probably yes. So what should we do? We should go change it and see if it works. Okay. Now I have the option to stop the test here, go back, fix things, and then do a run again. Or I have the option to retry or skip. Retry will just try and do the same thing again, and if it's nothing changed, it will give you the same error again. Skip is basically saying, okay, fair enough, just skip this step for now, go on to the next. Debug we will come to. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to stop this test first, go and fix that and come. Okay, but before that, what happened to line 2? Did it execute this? Let's go and see. Did it put 100,000? Great. See, that worked for us. Now I'm going to stop this, change it to household head, and see if it works. Am I very sure it will work? I'm not right now. Unless I run it again, then I know probably it worked. Then we will have a new learning. Okay, save your test and let's run it. But if you notice, team, the IE browser is not closed. I want the browser to get closed at the end. Why? Otherwise, QTP may open another browser and there may be a confusion to which browser to work on. So always close the browser. Or at the end, I can put one statement to do a close browser. What is this statement in green, team? It is a comment. QTP will not do anything with it. It will just ignore to the next one. Now I'll say browser IE dot. Do I want to go to page and so on? No. I want to see if I can close this. What does this method do? Closes the browser window or tab that this test object represents. What is this browser IE, team? It's a browser object, the one which we open. At the end, we will close it. Okay. The test results have come up. Ignore this right now. We don't need it for now. We will come to it later. Now, having done this, let's do it again. Let's run it again with the temporary run results folder. Now I've got the error again. Why? I fixed that household head, right? Why is it coming? So is that not the solution for it, team? Didn't it solve it? Is that the reason? But looks like household head is already selected here. Then why is it giving me the run error here? Right. What does that mean? It means that I am not thinking in the right manner. Don't say, oh, run error. Why is it run error? Go to the application. Don't look from run error to here. Go look, what is it saying? It says, where is it occurring? Line 8. Where did we fix earlier? Line 5. What did that mean? Household head probably worked correctly, and that's why you see that selected. By default, it was single. Now it is household head. Okay. It says browser IE page blah blah blah. Okay, we know this line. Let's read the message now. Cannot identify the specified item of the dependence object. Confirm that the specified item is included in the object's item collection. Again, similar thing. But where is this now? It is for the web list dependence. Is this the one? What is the issue? 2 is here, but I don't have. Okay, so I gave a number here. I should give, I gave alphabets here. I should give the number. What should I do then? Go back and fix it. This is annoying, right? Run results coming after every run because we're not looking at it, not relevant for us right now, right? So go to your tools, go to your options, run. Under run, you see this view results when run session ends. Uncheck this. What I'm saying is I don't want to view the results when the run completes. Okay. And say OK. How? Tools, options, under run tab, uncheck this. Okay. Now when we do a run, it won't come. Now let's do an execution. But hey, why didn't this get executed? Browser IE.close. Why didn't this get executed? See how many questions I'm asking myself while I'm trying to teach you the tool, make you masters of this tool. The reason is that's very, very critical, essential for you. The more questions you ask, the better you learn, the more things you learn. Browser IE.close, why didn't it get executed? Because when line 8 got executed, we had an error. And at that time I said, stop. It didn't go till line 17 to execute it, right? We stopped the test before it went there. Now let's run the test again. Why is it coming? I didn't fix it. I knew what I had to do, but I didn't do it. Hopefully this is correct. So save, close it again because we have not yet hit line 17. Now let's see. What happened? All it says is ready. I hit the run, but in a few seconds, or 1 or 2 seconds max, something happened and everything got executed. But hey, I want to see what happened. Is it correct or not? I want to see what happened. Is that correct or not? So to do that, I have to ask QTP to go a little more slow, right? One option is a new vbscript statement called wait. Just say wait for 3 seconds. What it means is when I say wait 3, I'm giving instruction that wait for 3 seconds when executing line 3. So it will wait for 3 seconds here, then it will go here, wait for 3 seconds here, then it will go here. And before I close the browser, I'll wait for another 3 seconds. Okay. Now let's see. Save this and run this. Okay. Now let's observe what is happening. So browser launched, 1000 entered. Okay. Household head selected. 2 selected. And browser close. So did everything happen correctly, team? Yes. So as expected, things have happened. Yeah. Vijay, got your question. We will come to it. Don't worry. Okay. Why is this 2 not in quotes? I actually wanted it to fail. It didn't fail. Okay. But that's okay. Not fail, but give me a different results. And I know the reason why, depending on where that is. That's okay. Now let's continue to do the remaining things. So team, anyone in the team who wish to take control of my system and try a couple of steps. I might not be able to share my screen every time for you to access. Just raise your hand, please. You have a raise hand option in your go to training. Raise your hand. I will give you access. I want you to write 2 steps for me. Anyone who's interested. You don't have to speak. You just have to try it on my system as you see. Oh man, I didn't see. I had the hands in the wrong order. So they're already, wow, what 15, 20. Oh, sorry team. Yeah, I had it sorted in the wrong order. Okay, let's see who wants to try. I'm just taking it very randomly. Please don't mind. So let's go with Amrita. Okay, Amrita, I'm giving you the keyboard and mouse. What's that doing is you have control to my system. I want you to try and write the VBScript code for line 12. Now, if you move your mouse, you will see you have control and you can execute this. So how do we go about doing it? I will be your voice, but you can try and execute it. So now use your keyboard to do next. What do we have to do? We have to enter some information into deductions, correct? How will we do it? The first thing, we have to identify where that object is. Okay, since we know how our object repository looks, let's start typing. Good. That's okay. Yeah, even if you have it there. Okay, let's expand it. It is better initially at least. Is that the one? Okay, fair enough. Let's go ahead, start to type. Browser. You want, okay, now we close it. Okay, browser. Dot, it was a web list, right? Yeah, yeah, I know why you're getting delayed. Because when we opened it, now let's go back, open the object repository, please. We wanted to use deductions, not dependents. They almost looked alike, but they're different objects. See, web edit, there you go. Now we can try and put it there. Now you can select deduction if you want to. Just double click on it. Double click. Yep. Dot select or set. Right? Web edit, you set the text inside it. Go ahead. Now what next? What do you want to put? Whatever number. Go for it. Okay. Those are your deductions. Good. Thanks, Amrita. Now we will test it out and see if it works. But before that, let's continue to do a few more steps. Why ending it here, right? How about Sasmita, do you want to try? I'm giving you the keyboard and mouse. How about clicking on the go button? Can you try to write the code, please? You can move the mouse around and start to type. Does it actually matter if it's capital B or not? Not really. I will actually explain a couple of those things, but that's okay. Go ahead, please. Team, the reason I'm giving the access to the team to do this on my system right now is only to get you more interested and involved initially, because a lot of people they don't continue the sessions in terms of practicing it and so on, so that you delay the whole thing. You'll think that you have a 1 year access and just go about it. So just to keep things interesting, but as we keep going forward, we will go at a much faster pace. At that time, we may not have so many occasions to be able to do this, but that's fine as long as we learn what it is. So now what are we doing? It is a go. Is go browser. Lot of people, Vijay, just not you, are lazy. Even if someone gives me a 1 year access to videos, I'll think, all right, I gotta go now. I need to work on keyword driven framework. I'll just watch that without not having done the basic fundamental scripting. Then I'll get confused. Then I'll do half implementation, lose that, come back. After a couple of months, hey, now I need to know descriptive programming. Go and watch those videos. Someone to do things, if you are in a hurry, watch those 15 videos. If you have time, watch those 50 videos. If you want to come back after a couple of months or 6 months, review, watch those live batch video, again another 15 and so on. Okay. Web button. Okay. There was only one. Go dot. Now we have done the where part. The object has been identified. Now we have to do the what part. The method has to come here. So now as soon as you hit dot, you will see. So what do we want to do on it? Do we have a set? Do we have an enter? What does the user want to do? The user wants to click it. It's a button, correct? So now we're going to double click on it. Double click. Let me help you. Sometimes those double clicks could be there's latency because of the sharing of these things. Great. Thank you so much. All right. Rasmita, hopefully this is correct. Am I sure? Are we sure if this is correct or not? Not until we execute everything and see what happens. Okay. Now, instead of having this automation, record and run settings, open this. I will go back to the first one. Okay. Say apply. Okay. All right. Now, what I will do is while I want to execute it, let's see what happens. So save and click on run. I have unchecked that option, record and run settings. Now what is happening? Running. But what is also not happening is the browser is not launched. We didn't give the instruction in the record and run settings for QTP to launch the browser when we're doing a record or run. Correct? So now what is happening is QTP is waiting. It will wait for about 60 seconds if the browser is not present typically. Okay, that's the default. It will keep on waiting till that time and then throw an error saying that objects are not visible. Now what we will do is we will do that browser launch at our end. Okay, so I will give some more space here and say this is open the browser. How do we do it? Simple command called system util dot run. What is this system util? System util is an object from QTP's perspective. It is a utility function that is there within your system where you can execute things. Okay, that is the object which is inbuilt. How do you know different things like this? Keep on practicing, keep on getting introduced to new things, then you will. Dot run space, now you give the file. Run is the method. What does run do? It executes that utility file. So if you click on run, you'll see runs a file or application. Dot run. Now the name of the file is Internet Explorer. That is the file I want to launch. But to do that, I have to give iexplore.exe, because that is the information that I need to give. That is the exe file which is present to launch an Internet Explorer when you install it. Now we are saying we will launch that, and that we are saying we will do it at the code level. Okay. Now let's try and do it. So save, run. So I said let's launch Internet Explorer. Did it launch, team? Yes. Now let's go about. So where are we in the execution? Okay, what's happening? It's still here. Why is it not going to our website? Salary calculator thing. It still says running though. But now I got the error. What does it say, team? Now look at this error. See, look at the differences in the errors, but the solutions are so different. Where is the error occurring? Line 5. Okay, here is where the error is occurring. Right? So is there a problem here? Do I need to go and change here? What do I need to change? Don't jump into any conclusions. Where is the error occurring? Line 5. What is the error? First, let's read that. It says cannot identify the object. What is the object called? Salary. Where is it here? Of class webEdit. Okay, now we know it's saying the core of the problem. Cannot identify the object. Where verify that this object's properties match an object currently displayed in the application. Object's properties, do we know? No. Earlier it worked, now it didn't work. So I'm assuming object properties were correct. Match an object currently displayed in your application. Where is the application, or more often called as AUT, or application under test? Where is it? Out here, right? So your application is here. It says this webEdit object is not here. This is a webEdit object. Then what is the problem? But this is not the webEdit object, not the one we want, right? Where is it? It is in that URL. So now where is the issue, team? Do I have to change something on line 5? No, that is not the source of the problem. The source of the problem is elsewhere. So let's stop this, go here, do a comma, and put the URL. We have to give additional information in this case. So much time just to do the basics, because this is a fundamental, this is a very important thing. Unless we do all of these things, we cannot move forward. Okay. Now I can save this and try it again. But let's make sure you close your IE browsers before you do it. Let's run this. Okay. Now it is executing. Do you see that execution happening? It is going on executing things, and finally it is probably completed and closed. Okay. If I want to see exactly what is happening instead of this wait statements, there is another way called debug, but there are only 10 minutes left today, so I'll not come to that section. But let's go back quickly to the plan and see what we have done. Okay. So we've done, okay, 1 second. Okay, is my voice breaking? All right. Give me a second, team. Let me check. How about now, team? No, not good. Okay, 1 second. There are a few. Team, how about now? Team, can you hear me now? How about now, team? Is this good? All right, team, just give me a minute. Let me see what's going wrong, or I'll relaunch it, okay? Okay, edit. Any luck now? Any better?
Welcome to GoToTraining, online training made easy. There are 82 other callers on the call.
Team, can you hear me now? All right. You know, after 2 years of using GoToMeeting, this is the first time I've used a telephone to dial in. All right. So what I'll do is I'll try and put myself on speaker and speak through it. 1 second, please. Do you think this is working through the speaker? Okay, good. So if it, as long as it's clear, that's good. All right, team. So what I was trying to do is we've started to write the code, right? So let's say about 40% of code done. Okay. Next, we have to get into creating test parameters and variables. What is it about these test parameters and variables? They are absolutely one of the most critical things in our overall learning. Okay. Why do I need variables? Why I need is, okay, now this is executing, great, but if I want to change the data, what do I have to do? Okay, let's assume that the data is coming out correctly. This is the expected results, which we have not yet captured in the tool. We have not done it through scripting yet. Assuming that that is correct, let's try and change it. Now I'm saying let's do it to 110,000 married to 750. So what do I have to do? I have to go here, change the data here, right? And this is basically married, okay, but the data for the next one is 750. So what am I doing every time I have to go and change the data? I have to take this information and physically copy it in here, right? And then execute it. But isn't it defeating the whole purpose of efficiency? If I'm doing this manually, I could do it faster. Why write the script? Why put the data here and then have it done? No big advantage, correct? It is not efficient. If it is not efficient, not worth automating it. Don't even do it. Then what is the solution? The solution is going to the end of it. Okay, this is the final solution. But to get there, we have to use something called as test parameters or variables. What are these test parameters or variables? Okay, these are nothing but simple sets of memory created within your program that can hold information. What is that kind of an information? This is the information which is typically like this. Okay, you give a name to that memory place so that whenever you want, you go and access the information and put some data into it. They're as simple as you entering a contact onto your mobile phone. You enter a name and you enter a number. Every time you don't have to go and remember that number, correct? All you do is call the name, it will automatically pick that information from that. That is what variables will be. How do we go about doing it? The way we do it is very simple. Okay. At the very beginning of your test out here, we will say define, not define, okay, use, or this is also called as parameterization. What is parameterization? Parameterization is basically saying anything that works, you enter some information, that's called parameters. Depending on what you enter, the output varies. All right, that's called parameterization. Changing the parameters will change the output. Okay, now I will say that this is what salary. I will say V salary. Why am I saying V salary? What is V salary is the name that I've done. Okay, why V? V is so that I know when I look at the code tomorrow, it is a variable. That is why I'm saying it is V salary. I can name it anything as long as it is not like system util or run or browser or wait. Why not these names? Because they're already used. They have a predefined meaning for it. You have to do something which is unique. So V salary is hopefully good. Now I have to put value into it. How do I put value? Equals 110,000. Okay. Why quotes? Why not quotes? We will come to it as we get into the variable types and so on. What did I do? I took a value. When QTP executes this, it creates a memory space with the name vSalary, and wherever I want, I can now say vSalary. Where do I want to use vSalary? Out here. So I say vSalary. All right. Now what we've done is we have taken this and putting it. But isn't it just adding additional steps into the test? But every time I have to still change, I have to do it here. But there's an advantage when we come towards the end of it. Okay. For now, that is the route to go. Next is V status. Okay. And the information there is married. Now I will change this to V status. Okay. This is not married. This is V status. Next is dependent. So I'll say VDP is okay, enough. This is shorter, easy, right? 2. And here I'll change it to VDP. Okay. Next, I want deduction. So define another variable called V deductions, DED equals, let's say 750. Okay. And put that V deductions out here. I deliberately do a lot of things in the code just to experiment things around. Now let's say, what have I done? I have replaced hard-coded values. What are hard-coded values? Things that will not change by things which will keep changing, which are varying variables. What are variables? Simple memory space. They have a name, they have a value. Whenever I want to access it, I have to call it by the name. I will get that information. Where do I want to use vSalary? This value here, here. So I put it here. Now let's execute it. Okay, save and run. Now application launched, great. 110,000 put, great. Now we get an issue. Browser IE dot select. Okay, line 15. Let's go system at line 15. Okay, where is it? Line 15 out here. Doesn't matter. I can see it. Browser page web list status. So issues happening status dot select v status. Okay, cannot identify the specified item of the status object. But what does v status have? It has married, right? Why is it not identifying? Team, anyone, why is this not getting identified? Yeah, it has to be married joined or married separate. Okay, so that is probably the solution that will help to fix things. Now what do I have to do? Go and change this and see if it fixes or not. Right? It has to be married joined or married separate. We will now stop it. We probably know that that is the reason, and we will fix it. Now I will say go here and say married joined. Oops. Okay, is this correct? Let me make sure. It's a capital J. Now let's try. Hopefully this is the solution for it. Am I sure? Not sure. Until you make an execution, you cannot be sure about it. Now let's do a run and see what happens. Application launched, very good, 110,000 put. I still get another error. Is it the same error or not? Unless we look into it, you never know. Line 15. Okay, looks like the same place. Browser IE.page web list select v status. Okay, same thing. Cannot identify the specified item the status object. Confirm that the specified item is included in the object item collection. Okay, what is there? Married joined. Did salary work? Let's see first that one. 110,000 v salary. The value is here. It went in here. Good. Why not here? Okay, the reason this is probably not happened is married joint, is it there? Yes. So the first solution we thought will fix it, didn't fix it. What did it mean? It meant that a solution cannot be certified to have fixing the problem unless you try it. Sometimes you fix it now, it will work now, but later it may break. So that is the reason testing is so critical. You never know where things can go. Now let me explain. Stop this. V salary out here and V status out here. What is the difference? You see the quotes, correct? What is the difference when you give quotes and no quotes? When I do not give quotes, it is referring to a name or to a specific variable. Okay. When I say V status, it will take the value as is and try and put it. For example, if I give quotes here, okay, and now execute the code, let's see what happens. If I give quotes to V salary and execute it, where should the error come, team? It should come on line 11, correct? Where we say browser IE.page, web edit set V salary. Now where is the error going to come? Line 15. What did it mean? Line 11 worked. Why did it work here? Why didn't it work here? When I give anything in quotes, it will try and use the information as is. It is not going to the memory with that name and getting the value. You're basically, so you have a contact, right? So let's say it is Vijay, okay? You're dialing V-I-J-A-Y. You're not going to your contact list searching for Vijay, getting the number and then dialing. You're pressing V-I-J-A-Y on the keypad, and that's wrong. If you want the value of the variable, do not use quotes. But why did line 11 go past? Why didn't it create an error? The reason is it took as is and it could put it. What does set do? Just take whatever information you give crap, doesn't matter, it will put it in here. The application may throw you out. If you click go, it may not do anything. See, it's given you unspecified error, right? But it doesn't throw an error for QTP. QTP is following your instruction. You ask it to sit, it is. You ask it to run, it is. But you have to give the right instructions. V salary is incorrect. It worked because it can take that and put it in here. But why didn't V status work? Because to select, it has to be here, right? That is the reason. So the solution to it is you remove the quotes out of it. Sorry team, just one more minute. I know it's a little extended. I usually try and do a 55-minute session, usually, but we have to come to at least one logical end before we close it. And the reason I start 5 minutes late team is because a lot of people I know are rushing from work back home to attend these sessions. So I just want to give that additional grace period every day, okay? Not just for day 1 and day 2. But please try and be on time because it will get you prepared and settle things. Log in and please continue with it. Now, okay, we hopefully have fixed this. Save it and run again. Okay, 110,000 done. Married joint selected, very good. Now VDEP, okay, go. Is all good? Right, closed. Now there is a problem with this. We will come to the problem tomorrow. Okay, no issue with what has happened. It is good. Okay, but there is an issue which didn't get captured. We will come to it tomorrow. Now, team, any questions on what we have done today or yesterday? How do we check only for numbers? We will come to it. Once you recognize what is a number and what is not, then we will do it. These are all something called as strings. These are text. It can be alphanumeric. If you remove the quotes, it becomes numbers. Okay. Without decimals, it's an integer. With decimals, it will become something called as a double. Can you do one more experiment at last? In V status, just put 2 if possible. Sure. We can do an experiment. It's all about experimenting. What happens? I don't know. Let's do a run and now see. Okay, let's see. Any more questions, team? For V status, you said 2, is it? Okay, for not for VDP. That's fine. Let's see what happens. Did it throw an error? But did it do what is expected? We're not sure. We have to get into debug mode and go more into parameterization, which we'll do from the day 3. Team, day 3 will be on Monday. Okay. The reason I put only 3 sessions in the go-to training is because some of you are just attending the demos. For all the confirmed participants, I will either send a new link or extend their access. Okay, so don't worry. Day 3 is on Monday. Okay, the Monday, the 27th of Feb. For people who are in UK, India, and Australia, it is actually going to be 28th early hours or early morning or mornings. Right? But if your QTP has expired, I can't do anything about it. You have to try and use it in the trial version. Probably there may be solutions in the Google group. You have to look into it. I will not cover BPT, Venkat, because I don't use it. I don't. But I know if I want to learn BPT, I just have to refer a few online forums and learn it. I mean, just practice on it. If anything to do with installations, license, and all those things will be part of Google group. I do understand practice is important for everyone, so you will find some solutions in there. Wondering how QTP accepted wrong variable in line 18. Yeah, we will come to that. That's what I wanted to show that. I think it should select. Okay, I want to confirm instead of browser, it shows me Windows, Internet Explorer. What settings I need to change? Yeah, that's the setting that I already shown in the system as well, team, as to what setting you need to change. But it is also part of your welcome pack documentation. Under 15 videos, do you have all the topics which I see under required topics? No, not live session does not cover every topic. Live session is just an increment over the videos. It covers the important one, 2-3 different projects in a detailed manner. All these topics, most of them, good portion of them are covered, but a lot of other features you'll have to watch. For example, team, before you come on Monday, please watch the 03 series from here. Okay, these 3 videos will be great if you watch it before Monday, even before Tuesday, or worst case Wednesday, please. But before Wednesday, you have to watch these 3 videos: vbscript basic functions 1 and 2, and Excel automation. How do we read and write? Watch these videos before at least day 4. You get access to it. It's part of your welcome pack. All the videos are accessible as part of the welcome pack. All right, let's see. My QTP is expired. Do we get any license? Come on, don't ask me those questions, please. Can you try settling the value as 2 for status field? Yeah, we will come to. We will experiment on some of those later, please. Training and test complete. No, not part of it. Let's try and focus on what we've done. Any questions on the session? Everything else related with training and all that offline to the email. Work only in QTP works with even Firefox, but it is not as reliable. The different other configurations. For cross-browser testing, the best tool to use right now in the market is Selenium. But this is still a very largely used tool. Very important to know this as well. All right, team. Thank you for your patience for the extension, and sorry about that short delay of audio breakage, but good that I could recover out of it quickly. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Take care. Have a great weekend. We'll see you back on day 3. Thank you, everyone. Bye for now. Thanks, everyone. Bye.